Well, hi everyone, this is my very first video with a microphone ever, I think. It's also probably the first one any of you have seen because my channel really hasn't done anything for the last 5 years. But I thought mainly for the people in Mr. Simulation Station's Discord that I'd give everyone a little look at my Own the Map Challenge farm on Alma, Missouri, and you can all basically see how little progress we've made in, if you see there, it is year 9 just ticked over. Actually, I think it ticks over in March, so it's nearly year 10, and really not a lot of owning the map has happened. So this is our house. We replaced the house that came with the farm with this one from the White Farm pack. The snow has destroyed our mailbox already. So if you haven't seen this, it's just, you can basically access half the house. You get the kitchen, just the kitchen side, and this little garden workshop bit out here where you can change clothes, which opens out onto the garden here. And then the basic layout of the farm is the same really as when the map, as the vanilla version of the map even. I added this diesel tank here by the road, which is as close as possible to what the farm is like in real life. We've got these 2 bins, which I did swap out. We had some West Steel bins before, but I've changed them this year. Wouldn't have left that open. But as you can see, we've got a pig farm here. We've got this outdoor pig pen, and then the one that comes with the map down here, which we use. We've got sows in there, and we've got piglets, or porkers, I guess, because we're using Maize Plus and the enhanced animal add-on. And we've just started our efforts to be pretty much self-sufficient with the pig food. So we got this mixer wagon that we bought last year, and the idea is that all of our corn and soybeans from our fields, we'll grind the corn into corn grist in here, which is taking forever, so I'm considering putting a second one next to it. I think the bucket's wide enough for both, but we've nearly got a full bucket load. If we come down here to the mixtures, we're doing roughly, I think, 65% corn grain grist. It says brewer's grain, but as you can see, you can substitute it for soybeans, which we're doing, and then about 25% soybeans and 10% mineral feed. And hopefully that's realistic enough to sort of a Midwest pig operation, because I have no experience of that area, as you can probably tell by my accent. So hopefully that will be all up and running now, because as you can see here, we're really low on mineral feed, so they'll probably take a little health dip before we can fill them up again. These are doing all right. I filled them up yesterday. So we got our sows, 6 sows in the free-range pig pasture, and they're due to give birth again. I'm just looking at, I keep a lot of physical notes, in March, I think, so I don't have to count months. And off that we get roughly, no, that's wrong. We got 100 pigs here, but I sold some sows to cut back our numbers a bit, so I think we should average about 60 piglets from that. Right, so we'll look around the rest of the yard. This shed is the same as what it was before. We've got our mineral feed here, the grist mill, precision farming we're using on this. So we've just bought the soil sampler. We haven't actually used it yet. We've got the breed owl fertilizer spreader, this John Deere sprayer, and then some hay equipment. And this bit of grass which is currently snowed under is sort of a catch-all for our trailers. So we've got a row crop cultivator, chisel plough, a large Parker gravity wagon, and then a smaller one round here, which I think that technically should be inside because we put some mineral feed in it that just happened to accidentally get loaded into the bucket for the 4020. This shed we put up recently, which will have feed here, fertilizer, lime. So that should be just a pallet shed basically to keep them out of the way of all the other sheds. We've got this IH field cultivator and then a little greenhouse setup. So they're sort of put together as 3 units, but this end greenhouse is one separate unit that we've got for strawberries, and then a double one here for tomatoes. A little rock pile there. We did start with rocks turned on, so all of the fields have rocks in, but I have turned them off because they really annoyed me and we don't own a rock picker yet. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. And then here we've got 2 vegetable gardens that come with the White Farm pack again, which were growing lettuces, but I thought it's unrealistic as it is to be growing stuff in greenhouses all year round really, but especially these open beds, nothing would be growing in the snow. So they'll be turned off until about March probably. And we've got a little Model A which usually is on the water tank just to refill all of these greenhouses, and the free range pig pen needs food. Truck wise we got 2 of the TLX 82. We've got this Julie with a 20-foot gooseneck, and then this red truck. I have a couple different beds for it. So we got this flat bed that I use with the plough over winter because it has the overhead lights. The headlights tend to be completely blocked by the plough, which is really annoying. So I bought this, but normally it has a stake bed on that we currently use painstakingly to sell all the pigs, so we'll have to think about getting a trailer to do that more efficiently. And then we also use this one usually to run the pallets of produce down to the respective stores. So we've got strawberries here, and I do try to sell them at least every other day, but usually once a day just to keep it more realistic. Oh yeah, we're running 4-day seasons to simulate 1 week per day, basically, at 6 times speed, which works well for me at the moment. We've got a little John Deere skid steer here, which is quite old but does the job, as is most of our kit. In the main shed, which again is how it is in the map from default, we've got a pressure washer just in the door. A case 970, that's been on the farm since new, pretty old now but still gets a lot of use. And then is that a 25 foot? Yeah, 25 foot 1020 flex header, and a 2366 axial flow combine with the 6-row corn head. Disc line here, and currently our only plant, sorry, what used to be our only planter was this 4-row IH, but recently we bought, and I'll show you it in a minute, a John Deere 71 flex planter for beans, because both at the moment both corn and beans are set up in narrow rows on this map. I might try to change the corn, be a bit more realistic, but I'll keep the beans narrow and use the 71 to plant narrow beans because they don't need fertilizer. We got this Steiger Panther PT350 last year in a bit of an impulse purchase, and we haven't used it once because we don't have anything big enough to use it on yet. So I really hope to get the John Deere mulch tiller, the widest configuration of that, and then that we can use on the Steiger, I think. This Anderson bale wrapper has been brilliant and we've been using it a lot. I'll show you the PGA in a minute and you can see just the abysmal amount of progress with owning the map we've made, but also we've got some grass fields. We ploughed up some of the land just opposite there. I think a lot of people who are trying out the Own the Map challenge have done just to maximise the space you get. We planted them all with grass. You get 3 cuts per year, so a silage cut in the spring, then hay in the summer, and then cut in the fall of silage again to wrap, so we should get a decent amount of silage and hay bales. Yeah, this is the planter we bought last year. So it's a 71 plex planter. As you can see, it's set up with the narrow rows, which would be alright for beans, and probably it would create the hideously tight rows of corn that are on this map anyway, but we don't really want that. We added a manure heap just because the pen didn't come with one, so we've done a bit of terraforming over this side, as well as added this fence extending from the pig pen all the way up here to this free range pig pasture. Right, anything else? Oh yeah, down in here we just have our baler. And then, oh yeah, the one tractor I've forgotten is the tractor I probably put the most hours on, which is the white Field Boss 2110, which is currently plastered in snow and on the snow blower, just in front of the garage here. And as you can see, it's got nearly 105 hours on it, so we've used it a lot, which is even more embarrassing with the amount of progress we've got. In here is just the stake bed, just about fits without destroying the light tubes. So that we'll be putting on come March, and that's the main bed for that red truck. And then the snowplow and the other flatbed will go in here. Okay. I will say we're playing on start from scratch with a lot of fairly grindy rules, so that is one excuse I have for the lack of progress, even though it's mainly buying things when I should be paying off the loan. I got into a lot of debt that I'm only just paying back. We added the enhanced loan system recently, which is really helping, but it's taking about $13,000 a day out of our account. Oh, sorry, $13,000 per month at the end of the month out of our account, which really stings, but it's good seeing the loan be chipped away, so in a year or two we should be able to expand quite fast. So here's the map currently. We own hardly anything. So we started out with this land 10 and 12, which is fields 11, 12 and 14. Sorry, no, not even 14. So we started out with just this patch 10. We added 12 pretty quickly and 15 soon after. And then it's only been fairly recently that we bought field sort of patch 14. We ploughed all of that up. If we go to precision farming, you can see we ploughed this square up the top here. That's grass, this grass down here, and 2 more little grass fields there by the driveway to that farm. And then very recently, as in just yesterday, we purchased land 20, which is forestry. So we're planning on cutting trees down, but the reason I went for this rather than saving up for 11 or 19, which are one of the 2 I'd like to get first, or even these 2 here. The reason why I went for 20 is because the amount of trees causes my poor computer to lag quite a lot. So anytime I'm working in field 22, 23, 29, we're doing a lot of contracts to keep the loan payments flowing. 18, 19, anywhere around here, I get to within this vicinity, and if I'm looking at that direction, my frame rate drops by a good 10 to 15 FPS. So part of the reason is just to clear out that land. I don't know what I'm going to do with it afterwards, but that was $23,000, and I hope that I can make most of that money back off trees, but this being on hard mode, I'm not sure what that'll be worth. So I think that's going to be our first job. We'll have to take the wood all the way down here because the train line runs across, all the way down and probably round and into town and up to the sawmill here. And then that should hopefully, we just sold last year's silage bales. We put some of that money into the bigger bins here. We didn't need them really, but I prefer these Meridians to those West Steel bins, so it is what it is, and they should allow us to expand better. I'd ideally like to get a third so I can start double cropping wheat and beans, or I think the map's currently only set up to double crop barley and beans, but we could do with the straw for the pigs anyway, and then we could do with a nice cash crop to sell us. We're using all of our beans and corn. We've got 900 bushels of corn left and 300 bushels of beans, and I have no idea how long that will stretch with our 100 so pigs at the moment. But hopefully once the numbers go down a bit and we get a better idea, we can balance that out. Yeah, so that's a quick little update. I don't know whether I'll actually do any farming in this episode or not, really. If I'm doing forestry, I'd want to take the 4020 that's got this John Deere 148 loader. I'd want to take that down to the woodland to load up trees onto that gooseneck trailer, but at the moment this grist mill is so slow that I'm having to basically babysit it and constantly just wait for the bucket to be loaded. I'm not sure if I've got a bucket for the telehandler. Oh, the skid steer rather. I might do. Because that would work, just shoveling from here to there. But yeah, our basic mixture is one whole pallet of the mineral feed into this mixer wagon, followed by 3 these 900 litres, I think the bucket size is 3 of these 900 litre buckets of soybeans, and then we just fill the rest up completely with corn grist. So we'll come to here, and then I don't know, we don't really have these bins in the UK, and I'm certainly not experienced in them. I don't know whether it would be realistic to load straight from the bin like that, or whether it would all spill out too quickly. I'm not sure what control you have over those unloading augers. But for the meantime, until I'm corrected at least, we're doing straight from the bins into the bucket here. Running round the corner, and I have to be careful. I have dumped one load over the back of this hopper. It catches more than it should from the bucket width, but it's not perfect, which is why I'm thinking you could probably get a second one in just to the right of it there, and that would help. But yeah, we've just all winter been going in this cycle, which sounds worse than it is. It is less boring than previous years where all we've had to do is buy pallets of food from the store and do snow blowing and ploughing basically. I should have done all of that for this year. I'm not quite sure how the game generates snow, but it seems to only have so many layers and then it stops it stops blocking up the roads, which is good. So we should have done all of that. We've been around the entire map. We're opposite corners to the town, and we've been down that entire southeast side along the gravel tracks, ploughing that. And I sort of say that the county's given me a bit of money to do that. I have heard that Missouri actually has quite good road clearing services, but clearly not on this map, so I think we gave ourselves $2,000 to do that. It does take some time, and then that's just helped tide us over in the winter. If I'm right, there should be basically one more bucket load in this. Oh no, 2 more, which is annoying. So either we have to buy pig food or it'll dip down. We're only on 13% mineral feed, and I really don't want to mess up the mixtures by chipping into this a bit. So we can take the health dip. They're not going to be sold for 3 months, so that should be fine. But hopefully this recording and everything's all worked, because it's the first proper one I've done on Farming Simulator since FS15. Well, no, FS17 I used to do time-lapse videos, but not sure many people will remember watching that content. It didn't have a great reach. I'm sure this one won't, but it's mainly just a preliminary video to update people on my Own the Map challenge. I should say that this Own the Map challenge is inspired by Simulation Station, who I've already mentioned in the start. So you should definitely check his channel out, and I'll link it below. And also his original idea for Own the Map on Missouri, and I think he did it on Ohio Richlands before, not sure. But that was all inspired by a UK YouTuber called Mr. Farquar, who has been doing Own the Map on the Shire map, I think, for over a year, and that's incredibly impressive. So definitely check him out, and I'll leave him in the comments below as well, so you can check both those guys if you haven't already for whatever reason. Just a quick little update, and then maybe if this video works, if I've had a lot of audio issues getting my microphone to filter out background noise, so it might be completely unusable, but we'll see how it goes, and then we might start doing a little series on this. Okay, right, I'll catch you all in the next one, which might be, for me, right after this if we go down and start cutting those trees.